Have you ever caught yourself watching a Hollywood blockbuster and thought, I've seen that face before, but I can't place it? Sometimes it's not deja vu, it's genetics. Hidden behind the glitz and glamour are family ties that slip right under the public's radar. Whether it's two A-list actors who grew up wrestling for the TV remote, or one brother front and center, while the other quietly dominates behind the scenes. These relationships can reshape how we see the people we admire on screen. Hollywood isn't just a stage for bright lights and big smiles. Beneath that polished exterior, there's a history of controversies, rumored feuds, unexpected betrayals, and real-life struggles that can spill into red carpet appearances. In some cases, the spotlight is passed graciously from one sibling to another. In others, there's speculation that one brother's success overshadowed the other's ambitions. A lucky few collaborate seamlessly, and fans only later realize those collaborators share the same bloodline. From child stars who found new purpose as adults to comedic legends whose families remain shockingly prolific, these sibling bonds affect Hollywood's entire ecosystem. In some families, fame is practically an heirloom. Dad or mom established a foothold decades ago, and each generation tacks on a new dimension, directing, performing, producing, or sometimes pivoting to a field so different that fans are stunned they ever shared the same dinner table. All of this begs the question, how many star siblings are out there, quietly shaping entire genres, launching controversies, or forging new paths behind the camera? The answer might surprise you. Today, we're exploring a set of fascinating families who prove that cinematic success and the occasional meltdown can be a family affair. Stay with us for an intriguing dive into the lesser-known Hollywood brotherhoods, complete with rumored fallouts, jaw-dropping comebacks, and hush-hush drama that only fuels our curiosity. And by the end, you'll see why these familial links are among Tinseltown's most surprising open secrets. Child stars turned icons. The Savage brothers, Ben and Fred Savage. For those who grew up glued to family sitcoms, there's a good chance you spent time with one of these two sibling sensations. Fred Savage soared into stardom playing Kevin Arnold, the earnest, wide-eyed teenager in The Wonder Years. Fred's natural knack for capturing adolescent angst made him a go-to choice for casting directors during the late 80s teen TV boom. Meanwhile, younger brother Ben Savage became an iconic face in Boy Meets World. Fans gravitated toward his portrayal of Corey Matthews, a bright, slightly anxious teen with a good heart. Behind the scenes, Ben faced the natural pressure of following an older brother's hit and built his own. While neither brother publicly confirmed a rivalry, close associates reportedly saw tensions bubbling up whenever tabloids claimed one show was overshadowing the other's ambitions. Still, both found massive success on their own terms, with Fred transitioning into directing, often surprising viewers who had no idea he was the same Kevin Arnold from back in the day, and Ben reprising his memorable role in Girl Meets World. Curiously, the Savage siblings have said little about personal feuds. Some insiders suggest their tight-knit family background kept them grounded, even as tabloid speculation flared. Whether or not any friction ever brewed, one thing is certain: each brother carved a distinct legacy. They exemplify the child star gone right scenario, managing to stay relevant without flaming out, which for Hollywood siblings can be a rare achievement. Their success shows skill, staying power, and smart navigation of sibling comparisons. The Toomey Wilhoit twins, Blake and Dylan. Few childhood roles capture fan hearts like that of the adorable baby or toddler who steals scenes with minimal lines. Blake and Dylan Toomey Wilhoit were prime examples. These real-life twin brothers stepped into the hugely popular Full House during its later seasons, portraying the cherub-faced sons of Uncle Jesse and Aunt Becky. Viewers ate up every mischievous grin and babyish one-liner, effectively solidifying the twins' place among the show's most beloved characters. But as often happens, once Full House ended, the twins vanished from mainstream media. Blake ventured into firefighting, an unexpected shift that would eventually lead fans to remark on how a former child star was saving real lives. Meanwhile, Dylan pursued sound design, quietly earning respect in big productions like Game of Thrones. This behind-the-scenes pivot reveals a fascinating dynamic. One brother craved an entirely separate path of public service, while the other found a satisfying creative outlet without the usual scrutiny aimed at ex-child actors. Even now, a single post can spark, "Remember those twins from Full House? They were all grown up." Some fans wonder if they maintain contact with their on-screen parents, or if old co-stars ever teased them about reuniting in a cameo. Neither has confirmed a rumored cameo on Fuller House, but it didn't stop the swirl of speculation. Regardless, the Toomey Wilhoit story shows that sometimes a brotherly bond can transcend the call of Hollywood, leading each twin toward drastically different callings, and yet still forging paths that keep them in people's hearts, even if they now operate well outside the typical red carpet domain. The Olsen twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley. No discussion of sibling stardom would be complete without Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, who'd introduced themselves to the world as Michelle Tanner on Full House. While they started as near infants on set, they grew into a multi-million-dollar franchise of direct-to-video movies, teen apparel lines, and children's books. Hollywood watchers at the time often used them as a cautionary tale of how young fame might lead to burnout. And indeed, rumors occasionally surfaced about behind-the-scenes meddling from business managers determined to maximize profits from the Olsen twins brand. But in a dramatic twist, they stepped away from the acting spotlight as adults. Some fans speculated that the constant scrutiny and paparazzi invasions drove them toward a quieter, more controlled career, high fashion. They launched luxury lines like The Row, proving to critics that they were more than child celebrities chasing fleeting recognition. It wasn't all smooth sailing. Tabloids fixated on their health and nightlife, while official details stayed private. Despite the swirl of gossip, Mary-Kate and Ashley's reign in the fashion world has been a resounding success. They traded sitcom sets for glamorous catwalks, winning some of the industry's highest awards. Interestingly, a portion of the fan base still clings to the hope that one day the twins might pop into a cameo or comedic short just for old sake's sake. So far, they've remained mostly silent on that front. This reluctance to return to the screen might underscore their desire to protect their privacy, an understandable stance after a childhood lived through countless magazine covers and talk show segments.
But that wasn't the headline fans expected next. Legendary legacies. The Affleck brothers, Ben and Casey. Some siblings maneuver shared success gracefully, and the Affleck brothers offer a prime example, albeit with the occasional rumor of tension. Ben Affleck rocketed to stardom with an Oscar-winning screenplay for Good Will Hunting, co-written with longtime friend Matt Damon. Soon after, he found mainstream traction in blockbuster roles, from Armageddon to his turn as Batman. Critics occasionally questioned whether his directorial ambitions were overshadowing his acting, yet Argo silenced the naysayers when it took home a Best Picture Academy Award. Meanwhile, Casey Affleck steadily built his resume with intense roles in films like Gone Baby Gone, directed by Ben, and The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. His portrayal in Manchester by the Sea led him to an Oscar win for Best Actor, which sparked the usual question: did Casey's accolades fuel sibling competition? Insiders downplay any rivalry, pointing out that Ben openly praised Casey's performance. Publicly, both have shown measured support for one another, though that hasn't stopped rumors from swirling about behind-the-scenes friction, especially whenever award season pits them in overlapping categories. Controversies occasionally trailed Ben, including widely publicized relationship dramas and personal battles that splashed across tabloid headlines. Casey, more private by comparison, faced his own set of allegations that generated negative buzz. Much of that coverage sits behind careful statements and closed-door proceedings. Still, the Afflecks endure as a Hollywood powerhouse, each forging distinct paths while acknowledging the formative roles they played in each other's careers and in each other's lives. The Murray brothers, Bill, Brian Doyle Murray, and Joel. Comedy fans instantly recognize Bill Murray. He's been a presence since his Saturday Night Live days. Known for Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, and Lost in Translation, Bill has courted both comedic glory and occasional controversy. He's famously mercurial, sometimes disappearing from Hollywood for years or ignoring calls from his own agents. Over time, rumors swelled that Bill's strong-willed personality led to on-set clashes, fueling fan speculation about how his siblings handle family gatherings. Brian Doyle Murray, older than Bill, has had a slower but steady climb through comedic acting and writing. He co-wrote Caddyshack, where Bill delivered one of his most iconic performances. Joel Murray, the youngest of these three, toggles effortlessly between comedic roles and dramatic bits, popping up in shows like Mad Men and Dharma and Greg. Many viewers remain shocked to discover the comedic flair in Joel's DNA, as he's generally overshadowed by Bill's unstoppable star power. It's been said that collaborations among the Murrays can be both hilarious and combative. Imagine siblings who grew up ribbing each other over the dinner table, now applying that same energy on film sets. Bill's style can dominate a set. High energy, fast rhythm, pushing everyone to keep up. They've teamed up in various projects over decades, building a comedic mini-empire that fans still celebrate, even if rumors of heated family squabbles occasionally bubble up. True or not, such tensions haven't slowed the Murray brand of humor. The Sutherland brothers, Kiefer and Angus, raised under the looming influence of Hollywood icon Donald Sutherland, Kiefer and Angus Sutherland carried a family legacy that might have felt like a weighty inheritance. Kiefer catapulted to prominence playing Jack Bauer in 24, a role that earned him an Emmy and a reputation for intense, unrelenting characters. Kiefer's public image also absorbed headlines about off-camera dust-ups, which some felt echoed his on-screen intensity. Angus Sutherland charted a different path, dabbling in acting and production. Fewer people recognize him at first glance, partly because Kiefer's star has always burned so brightly. Whispers suggest Angus preferred that quieter role, focusing on creative control rather than living in front of flashing cameras. Fans sometimes speculate whether Angus felt overshadowed by his older brother, but those close to the family say Angus never harbored resentment. He simply found fulfillment behind the scenes, producing projects in smaller indie spheres that allow for more experimentation. Curiously, the Sutherland patriarch reportedly encouraged each son to find a voice in Hollywood, either in front or behind the camera. Kiefer's bombastic style and Angus's more understated approach illustrate the range a family can have, all under one last name. This dynamic invites the question, does their father's legacy ever cast too large a shadow? If so, they don't admit it publicly. Both men quietly continue their pursuits, Kiefer sometimes stepping back into the limelight with new television ventures, Angus making occasional cameo appearances while maintaining a hands-on approach to producing. If controversies arise, they keep them locked down, letting fans piece together speculation from scattered hints. And then a left-field career pivot changed everything. Action heroes and blockbuster favorites. The Hemsworth trio, Luke, Chris, and Liam. When it comes to modern heartthrobs, the Hemsworth name is practically its own brand. Chris Hemsworth wields a hammer in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Thor, mesmerizing audiences with a chiseled physique and easy charm. What many didn't realize, especially outside Australia, was that Chris has two equally talented brothers. Liam Hemsworth broke into mainstream consciousness through the Hunger Games series, while Luke Hemsworth tackled roles in Australian television before making strides in international productions like Westworld. Media often floated rivalry talk when Chris landed Thor, but the family projects a united front. Some fans pointed to playful social media jabs, like the banter Chris aimed at Liam after certain breakups or new relationships, but insiders say that's pure sibling teasing. Over the years, each Hemsworth has dabbled in comedic, romantic, or action-packed projects, broadening their appeal. Critics wonder if they might unite on screen for a major blockbuster, but so far, scheduling conflicts and franchise commitments appear to keep that from happening. Interestingly, the trio hails from a small, tight-knit family background in Australia, reinforcing the idea that their bond preceded Hollywood ambition. Rumors about their gatherings involve a good deal of surf time and down-to-earth conversation, untouched by typical Tinseltown rivalry. If they do harbor any resentments about attention or star power, they haven't let it slip publicly. Their brand remains one of brotherly camaraderie and unwavering support, an image fans seem to love and the media happily amplifies. The Baldwin brothers, Alec, Daniel, William, and Stephen. Decades before the Hemsworth wave, the Baldwins dominated headlines. Alec Baldwin achieved early stardom via films like The Hunt for Red October and soared into comedic territory with his Emmy-winning portrayal of Jack Donaghy in 30 Rock. As the oldest of four Baldwin brothers, he's arguably the most famous, but that hasn't stopped the others from forging careers of their own. Daniel Baldwin took a different approach, occasionally landing action-oriented roles and featuring in dramatic projects while grappling with personal struggles that often became fodder for tabloids. William Baldwin found success in box office hits like Flatliners and Backdraft, though rumors circulated that he turned down some major roles due to behind-the-scenes power plays or uneasy negotiations. Meanwhile, Stephen Baldwin veered into more offbeat comedies such as Biodome and also explored faith-based films later in his career. For years, tabloids spun tales of sibling quarrels, especially around political differences and personal controversies that occasionally led to arrests or lawsuits. Certain fans have speculated that these tensions deepened after each brother's career trajectory diverged so sharply. Yet the Baldwins occasionally reunite on talk shows or at family events, looking civil, if not downright friendly. Insiders claim that off-camera, there's a certain competitive edge that never fully dissolves, but they've learned to keep it away from the paparazzi's lens. Whether it's a sign of genuine growth or a strategic PR, the Baldwin clan remains an enduring fixture in Hollywood's landscape of famous families.
Sheen and Estevez. Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. Under normal circumstances, shared surnames make it obvious that actors are related, but these brothers opted to split the difference. Born to star actor Martin Sheen, whose real name is Ramon Estevez, Charlie took on the family's stage surname, while Emilio proudly retained the Estevez name. Charlie Sheen dominated headlines for decades, with roles in Platoon, Wall Street, and the sitcom 2.5 Men. However, his personal life often overshadowed his professional accolades. Highly public controversies fueled talk of family strain. Emilio Estevez, on the other hand, co-led the 1980s Brat Pack in films like The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire. He later dabbled in directing, earning quiet praise for films such as The Way. Throughout Charlie's high-profile controversies, Emilio kept his statements guarded, causing speculation that they were on shaky ground. It's been rumored that their father, Martin Sheen, tried multiple times to broker peace among the family. Paparazzi occasionally spotted them together, fueling hopes of reconciliation, but details remain murky. What's undeniable is that each brother carved out a unique identity. Charlie's comedic genius on 2.5 Men contrasted sharply with the more introspective, artistic projects Emilio tackled. Skeptics wonder if Emilio deliberately sidestepped the Sheen name to avoid the typecasting and baggage that might come with it. Regardless, both contributed significantly to Hollywood's tapestry, each weaving in success stories, tabloid-ready drama, and enduring fan fascination. Dramas, mysteries, and quiet struggles. The Phoenix brothers, River and Joaquin. Tragedy and triumph define the Phoenix family story in equal measure. River Phoenix became a beloved star almost overnight with roles in Stand By Me and Running on Empty. He seemed destined for a lifelong career of critical accolade until his sudden passing at 23. After that devastating event, fans whispered about the emotional toll on the rest of the family, especially Joaquin, who was still finding his footing in the industry. Joaquin would later rise to incredible heights, delivering unforgettable performances in Gladiator, Walk the Line, and Joker. He garnered an Academy Award for the latter, proving his ability to dive deep into unsettling characters. Throughout these successes, watchers noted a haunted intensity, often linked to the loss of River. Unsurprisingly, interviewers tread carefully around the subject, but that's never stopped fans from speculating. There have even been rumors that Joaquin quietly funds or supports artistic endeavors that honor River's memory. Those specifics remain unconfirmed. Despite such heartbreak, the Phoenix name endures as a symbol of raw talent. River's performance in My Own Private Idaho still resonates with audiences who recognize brilliance cut short, and Joaquin channels that legacy each time he steps onto a set. Though their time together was brief, the Phoenix brothers embody Hollywood's capacity for both immeasurable success and heartbreaking loss, leaving us to wonder what might have unfolded had fate been kinder. The Penn brothers, Sean and Chris. Growing up under the same roof, Sean and Chris Penn charted divergent paths through the Hollywood firmament, yet they both displayed a flair for arresting performances. Sean Penn's name became nearly synonymous with intense, award-winning roles. His lauded turn in Mystic River earned him an Academy Award, and he repeated that Oscar success for Milk. Fiercely outspoken, Sean gained a reputation for being unafraid to tackle controversial projects or speak his mind about social and political causes. Chris Penn never reached the same echelon, but he was hardly overshadowed in terms of talent. His appearance in Reservoir Dogs demonstrated an ability to play edgy characters, and he delivered memorable performances in Footloose and True Romance. Industry insiders described Chris as a character actor's character actor, always bringing authenticity to each role. Yet, for all his promise, Chris faced personal struggles, including weight issues and rumored heart complications. His untimely passing at age 40 in 2006 left many grieving the loss of a dynamic performer.
Some fans speculate that Sean and Chris had a complex relationship, shaped by the constant comparison in an unforgiving industry. Others claim the brothers were supportive confidants, sharing private jokes about life under the microscope. Truthfully, the exact story remains elusive, overshadowed by Chris's tragic departure and Sean's ongoing legacy as a sometimes contentious Hollywood fixture. Regardless, both pens left distinct marks on cinematic history, forever linked by a common last name and a shared ability to captivate viewers. The Cassidy brothers, David, Patrick, and Sean. If you recall the frenzy surrounding the Partridge Family in the 1970s, you're already familiar with David Cassidy's teen idol phase. His portrayal of Keith Partridge shot him to stratospheric fame, accompanied by stadium-filling concerts and chart-topping singles. Beneath the wholesome image, rumors bubbled of tensions with music producers over control of his sound. David longed to be taken seriously as a musician, something that conflicted with the bubblegum pop persona studios pushed. Patrick found success more steadily in soap operas like Days of Our Lives, plus notable stints on Broadway. Meanwhile, Sean Cassidy also enjoyed teen idol status via hits like Da-Do Ron Ron, before pivoting into acting on The Hardy Boys Mysteries. He later thrived as a TV producer, quietly crafting series that occasionally soared in ratings, much to the amazement of fans who had no idea the Hardy Boys star was pulling the strings behind the camera. Rumor has it that production companies sometimes leverage Sean Cassidy's name to secure quick deals, but official confirmations of that strategy remain hush-hush. Their household blended TV, stage, and pop stardom, each taking a different lane. Their father, Jack Cassidy, was himself a fixture in show business, hinting that showmanship ran deep in their veins. Though David passed away in 2017, his earlier revelations about personal turmoil and financial woes illustrate a rough side of stardom. Fans continue to wonder how his relationship with his brothers influenced his journey. Were they supportive, or was the competition too intense? As it stands, the Cassidy legacy demonstrates how a family can saturate multiple corners of entertainment while grappling with the peculiar pitfalls of early fame. What came next blurred the line between family and fame. Comedic, eccentric, and offbeat. The Wilson brothers, Owen and Luke. The phrase quirky charm might as well have been coined for Owen and Luke Wilson. From their early collaboration in Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket to mainstream comedies like Wedding Crashers for Owen and Old School for Luke, these siblings excel at making audiences laugh with disarmingly dry wit. They grew up in Texas, bonding over comedic banter that eventually shaped their film personas, a brand of humor built on quick one-liners and wide-eyed sincerity. Owen's distinct nasal voice and comedic timing turned him into a beloved comedic lead, fueling box office hits like Zoolander and Night at the Museum. Luke, on the other hand, often played the amiable straight man, bridging comedic elements with a dash of everyman relatability. Insiders say the two remain close, though rumors of tension occasionally flare up whenever fans pit them against each other in comedic rankings. Few now realize there's a third Wilson brother, Andrew, who sometimes appears in cameo roles or behind the scenes. Observers note that Andrew tends to avoid the spotlight, letting Owen and Luke field most of the public attention. There have been whispers about behind-the-scenes friction, particularly around creative decisions or comedic style. However, neither brother has offered more than the occasional playful jab in interviews. The Wilson brand remains anchored in that friendly, off-kilter vibe, generating persistent curiosity about what else they might develop together. With the occasional personal struggles glimpsed in tabloids, it's evident that comedic brilliance and real-life challenges often run side by side. Still, that hasn't dimmed the warmth fans feel whenever they see a Wilson on screen, delivering lines with that signature playful sincerity.
The Franco brothers, James and Dave. In an industry that thrives on reinvention, the Franco brothers offer a particularly compelling study. James Franco initially soared into the public eye as Harry Osborn in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, then evolved into a multifaceted force, dabbling in everything from Oscar-nominated drama, 127 Hours, to offbeat comedy, Pineapple Express. Controversies did arise. James faced allegations that hurt his public image, including claims of power imbalances on certain sets. He's maintained a relatively low profile in recent years, leaving fans to wonder whether redemption arcs or further directorial efforts could be on the horizon. Meanwhile, Dave Franco took a more comedic path, winning hearts in 21 Jump Street, Neighbors, and Now You See Me. Audiences warmed quickly to Dave's bright-eyed energy, which some found more accessible compared to James's sometimes enigmatic aura. Yet the biggest surprise came when Dave tried his hand at directing The Rental, showcasing a shadowy horror style that contrasted sharply with his comedic track record. Some speculated about a creative rivalry behind the scenes, suspecting that James's foray into directing and art projects might have inspired Dave to do the same. Neither brother confirmed such talk, chalking their parallel efforts up to a shared love of cinema. Their dynamic offers a mix of admiration and competition. Both have tackled comedic roles, both tried directing, and both occasionally step into dramatic waters. Despite public controversies that threaten James's standing, Dave seems determined to carve out his own niche. Whether or not they'll collaborate again in a major production remains uncertain, but if they do, expect it to blend comedic flair, introspective drama, and just enough controversy to keep fans intrigued. The Skarsgård brothers, Alexander, Bill, and Gustav. Hollywood siblings from Sweden, look no further than the towering Skarsgård clan, widely recognized for delivering both heartthrobs and deeply unsettling villains. Alexander Skarsgård shot to fame with his portrayal of Eric Northman, the brooding vampire on HBO's True Blood. Later, he snagged an Emmy for Big Little Lies, proving that his intense presence can fit anywhere from supernatural thrillers to domestic dramas. Bill Skarsgård mesmerized and terrified viewers as Pennywise the Clown in the It movies, turning one of Stephen King's most nightmarish creations into a pop culture phenomenon. Then there's Gustav Skarsgård, who brought a Viking named Floki to life on Vikings, capturing hearts with equal measures of ferocity and vulnerability. Their father, Stellan Skarsgård, is an accomplished actor himself, credited in everything from art house films to major franchises like Thor. Family gatherings, one imagines, are a swirl of acting shop talk and whimsical references to set stories that the rest of us can only dream about. Fans speculate about sibling competitiveness whenever another Skarsgård brother lands a prestige role. Bill's Pennywise became a zeitgeist moment. Alexander's prestige TV and film roles carry equal weight. Gustav remains a bit under the radar in the American market, though Vikings fans swear he's every bit as captivating as his brothers. Insiders mention that they share a deep respect for each other's space, rarely competing for the same parts. And if controversies exist, they've been kept off the record. For now, the Skarsgårds epitomize international flair, merging a classic European dramatic tradition with Hollywood's love of spectacle. The result? A band of siblings who consistently defy typecasting and keep viewers guessing about their next moves.
Under-the-radar surprises.
The Lowe brothers, Rob and Chad. Rob Lowe first captured the public eye as a 1980s heartthrob, starring in St. Elmo's Fire, The Outsiders, and eventually winning over critics with roles in The West Wing and Parks and Recreation. His personal life, however, included widely reported controversies. One particular scandal in the late 80s threatened to derail his career entirely, but he emerged with a redemption arc that fans found surprisingly compelling. Through it all, many people forgot, or never realized, that Rob has a brother in the same industry, Chad Lowe. Chad carved out a quieter, though still impactful, acting path. Stints on Life Goes On gained him an Emmy for a supporting role, which might surprise those who assumed Rob was the only one collecting hardware. Chad went on to appear in Pretty Little Liars, reintroducing himself to a younger generation who might not have known his connection to Rob. Some coverage framed Chad as overshadowed during Rob's West Wing peak, but his own resume stayed strong. Still, insiders claim the brothers remained close. Rob credits Chad with helping him stay grounded amid career turbulence, while Chad occasionally praises Rob's comedy timing as beyond underrated. If any sibling rivalry simmers, they keep it private. In a sense, they represent two roots in Hollywood: the high-profile star who recovers from scandal and the dedicated performer who builds respect within the industry's deeper layers. By forging these separate identities, the Lowe brothers continue to pop up in fresh roles, reminding us that success can take multiple forms, even within one household. The Bridges brothers, Beau and Jeff. Talk about old Hollywood lineage. Beau and Jeff Bridges are sons of screen legend Lloyd Bridges, which placed them squarely in the limelight from birth. Beau embarked on a prolific career in both television and film, scoring multiple Emmy and Golden Globe victories along the way. He might not enjoy the same household name recognition as his younger brother, but he's carved out a formidable space as a versatile character actor.
Jeff Bridges, meanwhile, ascended to an almost mythic status. Audiences worldwide adore him for iconic roles, from the dude in The Big Lebowski to his Oscar-winning portrayal of Bad Blake in Crazy Heart. Rumors occasionally circulate that Jeff's laid-back, bohemian persona belies a fierce creative drive and that he pushes for artistic control in projects, sometimes clashing with directors. In contrast, Beau's approach is said to be more methodical and collaborative, though the two have rarely commented on each other's working style in detail. The Bridges family ties run deep. There are anecdotes about them sitting around the family table, recounting stories from classic film sets, passing the acting torch from father to sons. Some fans wonder if Beau ever felt overshadowed by Jeff's flamboyant, star-making characters, but Beau's consistent success behind the scenes and in television circles suggests there's little bitterness. If anything, they've each showcased how two siblings can inhabit the same industry, excel at different facets, and do so with genuine camaraderie. Once in a while, they join forces on a project, offering a glimpse of that inherited acting magic. It's a testament to their bond and a reflection of a Hollywood tradition that was practically written into their DNA. The Ashmore twins, Sean and Aaron. Sean Ashmore burst onto the worldwide stage portraying Bobby Drake, Iceman, in the X-Men film series, a role that introduced him as a nuanced hero grappling with acceptance. Around the same time, Aaron quietly built his resume in shows like Smallville, portraying characters who brought levity and heart to a series about a teenage Superman. Fans continue mixing them up. Unsurprising given the identical twin factor, interviews reveal that they occasionally use that confusion to comedic effect, whether it's messing with co-stars or politely redirecting fans who mistake one for the other. While Sean ventured further into darker territory in shows like The Following and The Boys, Aaron carved out a consistent presence in the science fiction realm, notably with Killjoys. Some insiders describe a healthy sibling rivalry that drives each twin to tackle riskier parts, fueling speculation that if one books a pivotal role, the other scrambles to secure an equally significant project. True or not, their choices reflect distinct length. Sean often plays intense or conflicted. Aaron leans earnest and soft-spoken. There's a recurring rumor that they once swapped roles in an audition as a prank, but neither brother has confirmed it. Perhaps they recognize the comedic gold in letting fans guess. Whatever tension or comedic mischief might linger, it's overshadowed by the genuine respect they seem to hold for each other's craft. Despite sharing genes and an uncanny likeness, they've proven that forging individual identities is not only possible, but beneficial in Hollywood's competitive sphere. The Dillon brothers, Matt and Kevin. Matt Dillon emerged as a teen idol with The Outsiders before evolving into a respected actor capable of dramatic depth, evidenced by his performances in films like Drugstore Cowboy and Crash. That latter film earned him an Oscar nomination, cementing his place among Hollywood's serious talents. Behind his success, there's a lesser-known brother, Kevin Dillon, who roamed parallel circles, occasionally popping up in memorable roles that fans later realize tie him to Matt. Kevin soared to comedic fame as Johnny Drama Chase in HBO's Entourage, a part so delightfully over the top that it earned him multiple Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. Speculation arose that he drew on personal experience, Hollywood nepotism, sibling overshadowing, relentless auditioning, to channel drama's desperate quest for stardom. Whether or not he tapped real-life influences, Kevin's comedic timing turned the role into a pop culture staple. In interviews, both express mutual admiration. Though they rarely appear on screen together, some watchers wonder if they steer clear of joint projects to preserve individual branding. Others think it's simply a matter of different genre preferences, Matt leaning dramatic, Kevin comedic. Fans have long speculated about Matt helping Kevin land drama, but neither brother confirms. What's evident is that each Dillon carved out a distinct path, proving there's room for two uniquely talented personalities in one family line, one delivering heart-wrenching drama, the other comedic gold. There's an irresistible mystique around Hollywood siblings. Maybe it's the shared mannerisms that tip us off, or that quiet glimmer of recognition in their eyes that reminds us they hail from the same family tree. And yet for every pair or trio we've showcased, distinct personalities, controversies, and triumphs abound, proving that no script can define how siblings handle fame. Some leverage their last name as a catapult, while others hide in plain sight, forging a path separate from any star-fueled associations. These sagas range from comedic icons to dramatic powerhouses, child stars to behind-the-scenes mavens. We've glimpsed rumored feuds that might or might not hold a kernel of truth, discovered unexpected camaraderie that defies typical Hollywood meltdown narratives, and learned that sometimes the quietest sibling in the room wields the greatest influence of all. These family stories serve as a reminder that success and scandal can ripple through a bloodline in unpredictable ways. Now that you've taken a deep dive into these hidden family ties, the real question remains: which pairing or trio shocked you the most? Does knowing these personal links change how you view their roles? Or does it simply add another layer of intrigue to your favorite movies and shows? We encourage you to keep the conversation going. Share your own theories, your favorite sibling duos, or any behind-the-scenes tidbits you've uncovered. After all, Hollywood is a place where no family tree is ordinary, and no headline is guaranteed to reveal the entire truth. If there's one certainty, it's that these brotherly bonds, fraught with tension or brimming with support, continue to shape the stories we see and the ones we'll keep talking about for years to come.